Active shooter incident management training. We're going into our third day of training. It's an intense, hands-on course. It has changed how law enforcement, their tactics, and their strategies when they're faced with an active shooter situation. Gentlemen, let's talk about your experience with this and what this means to you and your departments.
I think what we take away from our department is that we're able to work with the firefighters hand in hand. Where we've always done training where we, go in and we kill a bad guy and we high five each other, because we've never done it where we actually have to start saving people and getting incident commands and getting tactical and command and rescue teams, and the whole aftermath of after the fact is a lot more than just the initial, going in and finding the bad guy.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, the key thing I'm enjoying with the same thing in there is that we have multiple agencies that are working here together, and it's not just law enforcement agencies. Just like Chief Slade is saying, we have fire that's also working in conjunction with. So it shows that all of this is not just with one element, but expanding to the entire process, that we can work together, we can work with our firefighters, and it's a doable thing.
Absolutely, it's a doable thing. And one of the things that stood out, at least for me, is everyone was playing a role. Some of us played the same role over and over again, PIO, my role, and then others had to trade off, so they got that experience of working with triage, working with tactical, working with staging, working with that. So Mike, talk about what seemed like a vibe shift as we were all starting to work together and keep running scenarios. What were your observations of that?
So Chief Slade, when I talked to a couple of your officers today, they said they were pretty nervous and excited that they weren't just that one guy. They ran the tactical part, and they were calling in resources, and they were doing another thing that is vital for the whole system to work, right? The way that they show us isn't the typical, not everybody's typical way, but using incident management to, I think, better the process, right? And kind of stop the clock, like they say. I think when we watched the first scenario, we saw the times, and then we see the times now changing. I think it's really beneficial that, and I think it's rewarding to everybody that's in there saying, wow, like we are doing better, and we get what they're training us,
Well, that first day, that first scenario, the radio chatter was just all over the place because people weren't sure, and we're talking over ourselves, where the last few have been really smooth, where you can actually hear the radio traffic. And I think it's great that we have dispatchers there as well to get them involved, because again, they're going to be sorely needed, when this kicks off. If one ever does kick off, without them, that would be a tactical mess.
Yeah. And I think with those, as the scenarios go, I think the reason why we're starting to see better communication and people being able to communicate up, communicate down, and then communicate with those who are on the line level with each other is because we're being forced to put into different realms. It's not just, hey, you're a sergeant, lieutenant, chief, you're going to be in this incident command or area command, but hey, you're an officer on this one, you're going to be boots on the ground. On this next one, you're going to be area command, and you're in charge of multiple incidences. So as we, as the collective, gain that experience, we're now understanding what we need from a higher level to include the middle and the lower level. So as we know what the needs are above and beneath us, we're able to communicate faster and therefore flow through the process so much faster and more efficiently.
And it changed the role of police. Police are the guardians. They are here to protect us. But now we have active shooter situations, and the police have become the warriors. They have to stop the threat. That's what this comes down to.
Yeah, and then once that threat gets stopped, then we change roles, and now we're the bodyguards of the fire going in to do that, do those life-saving measures. So we're protecting them at that point.
And one of the interesting things was one of the instructors pointed out that whether we're talking about a school or we're talking about a stadium, wherever this active shooter, or a mall, wherever this event happens, that site then becomes a crime scene. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. Well, it seems like the stages are stop the killing, that way you can stop the diving, and then it's preserve the crime scene. So as we flow through all these processes, we're communicating by interviewing witnesses, and all that information's going to tactical command, to incident command. The we're essentially establishing our chain of evidence regarding once all of the dying has stopped. And then we secure the scene, we're able to do all of our interviews and get as much information as we can for those detectives to come on in.
And a
So,
big part of that is bringing order to chaos.
Absolutely.
Because that's what this is.
yeah.
And it's so nice to see so many elements, like the PIO doing a press release,
Yes.
and seeing the helicopter flying over and finding, somebody out that's left the scene and identifying that person running. And I just think there's so many, like dispatch being there, just very vital to see from the beginning of the call, that first 911 call, to the press release that the people are seeing on the news. It's really beneficial for
Well,
me
even
and
the,
a lot of
even the
people.
reunification process, those things you don't really think about.
Yeah.
But you're at a school, and when we had to go and like try and verify that every kid was accounted for, that took a while. Because some of them got transported because they were shot. Some of them, we had a hard time finding a couple of them, but we were able to get them all, right? So
And it's all real life.
yes.
Yeah, it's all real life.
It's all real life, and also there's trauma. People who have experienced this, it's traumatic.
Yes.
And I like the point that they emphasized that those of us who have been there, we're not victims, we're survivors.
Yes.
And I think that makes a big difference. Just that change in the language speaks volumes.
Yeah.
So, Mike, anything I would say?
No, good stuff. 3 days of I'm going to be sad it's over. I truly am. I could do that for a couple weeks straight. Really, I could. It's just a really good thing to see everybody, working to the greater good, and it's really amazing to see the process. It really is.
Absolutely, it certainly is. And if you enjoy this video, you can find us on SoundCloud, Stitcher, and all major platforms. You can also find us on YouTube. Cocopah Now is our brand. And if you'd like to learn more about Cocopah events and activities, you can sign up for our free electronic newsletter. Just go to cocopah.com, and in the upper right-hand corner, just click on the newsletter link, and we promise not to share your information with any third parties. Thanks for watching.